someone at my back. I couldn't ask any of my soul. They've suffered enough for my mistakes, and it's just something I have to do. We made it! Too many years on dry land. There's a secret door in these ruins that... I had another reason to come here. When I couldn't share around my troops. The Mawama are holding the woman up because Castira is a sea elf. She is, or was, I suppose, the captain of the crew that attacked Seakeep. Assuming her mutinous crew hasn't already done so, she'll be... Bait. These ruins were the only place where Cass and I could see each other. Our secret safe place. She would signal, and I would use the secret door to meet her. Only this time, I was met by the sabers of her crew. Yes, the blood of the garrison is on my hands. I killed them with my secret. I can't take that back. I last saw Cass in the dungeon. With any luck, she's still there. I didn't. The sea elves waylaid me and tossed me in the dungeon as soon as I unsealed the hidden passage. They only kept me alive. I slipped the leash on the battlements, where their sea mage was studying the keep's magical defenses. There was nowhere for me to run, so I took a leap of faith straight into the arms of the sea.
These spoils are much better than the last raid.
Are you all right?
Pan? How did you... Never mind. Get me out of these chains.
I'll see to her bonds. Cass,
Is it just
I
that
need
you
tell
have
us
to
everything you know
understand?
about what your crew
The
was
only thing lower than a mutineer to the Maorma is an Ultima. Consorting with one is tantamount to treason. Loving one, unforgivable. I made them party to the ultimate taboo. Now they're trying to wash away the stain. They're going to summon a storm so powerful it'll scour the entire coast clean, and this keep with it. There'll be no trace of my offense left, or anything to stand between Alinor and the Piandinian Armada. They'll be remembered as heroes. On the battlements, calling to the wind and sea. It'll be a hard slog to get there. My crew won't hesitate to lay down their lives to protect...
I have a suggestion for our next move. Defeating Ursa, the magic in these old... There are fonts that channel... Sealing the fonts will be like trying to...
Pan, your plan's insane. I love it. Where do we start?
Take captives. We could use it for cook.
There's one of the fonts.
I don't suppose we could use this to blast Earlsar off the ramparts.
One of the
Sadly,
Marines
no.
to do it.
Couldn't enjoy it from down here anyway.
Touch my plunder, you lose your hand.
Nothing but ash and blood in my wake.
Well now, can't you see I'm busy torturing this high elf?
Spells from the back of the line.
There's a font here.
Is there any way to tell if this is working?
Remaining in one piece will be a good sign.
I'm in favor of that.
Oh, bah! A pox on their ears!
The last font is just ahead.
I'm too stubborn to sink Tenerife. That's why I was captain. There wasn't a shred. My second... I betrayed them first. I made vows to one of the tyrants that exiled our people from our rightful home. I've lost everything because of it. Maybe I was right when I thought we were cursed. Maybe I was never one of them to begin with. How many of those vipers would have charged in here to rescue me from capture? Pan was the right choice. May your bones bleach on barren sands. Damned fool.
The gates are barred. The locking mechanisms are controlled from those two towers.
Easy enough. You take one, I'll take the other.
Be careful.
Aren't I always?
All this dry
Damn
land
it.
is unsettling.
I didn't see him escape, but I held out hope. I'm sorry, old friend. That does it. We should meet Castira at the gate. This is it, Cass. Last chance to...
Don't try to talk me out of this. Earlsar's up ahead. In the Ives. He drove my crew to mutiny.
Earlsar and his storm lie beyond this gate. No matter what happens, I want to thank you for standing by me. If it weren't for you, I might never have gotten... charging headlong.
You remember our vows?
They were the only thing that kept us moored through that miserable storm.
Let's do it again. How often are we going to see a tempest like this in one lifetime?
You always were the romantic.
Shouldn't the storm be growing weaker?
I said it probably wouldn't get any stronger. Damn him! I can barely hold my footing!
Keep fighting! One of us has to make it!
You can't tame the sea!
With you?
Castira, wait!
It ends like it began. The two of us, adrift among the wreckage of our lives.
But alive and together.
Fortune smiles, with a shark's teeth. Earlsar's dead and his mutiny along with him. I only wish I had the strength to settle the score myself. If there was any justice in the world, he'd have been forced to concede that... It'll be a long journey without a crew, but I'll manage. There's no shame in returning to port humbled but unbroken. Though I think I'll steer clear of sun-kissed shores for some time. I love him, for some reason, but the walls between us are taller than this keep. Just to see him for a few fleeting moments commands such risk, it nearly destroyed everything we care about, and more. Did you witness a lot of coexistence here today? Pan won't take it well, but I think he'll understand. I love you, Pan. But we can't go on like this.
I know, Cass.
What will happen when I'm gone?
I pick up the pieces, or I find myself in irons.
I'm sorry. For everything.
I'm not.
The span between us may be as far as the sun and the sea, but you'll never be far from my thoughts.
The sun and the sea were never so lucky as to have crossed paths. I don't expect you to keep my secret, but I'd rather pay my penance through action, not rotting in a cell. It's selfish. I want to restore some of the damage I've caused with my own hands. I have to believe I can find redemption through repentance. Our reinforcements have arrived from...
When Pandemalian soldiers told me he'd returned to the keep with a passerby, I thought he'd lost his mind. What were you thinking? I'm not one to commend recklessness, but I suppose we all owe you a debt of gratitude. I don't know what's more troubling, that the Sea Elves would attempt such a thing, or that they were able to seize Sea... I'll note your remarks for the inquiry to follow. The sack of Sea Keep under Pandemalian's watch will reflect poor... You've had a long day. See to your troops and get some rest.
I'm honored by your consideration, but Seakeep is my responsibility. I won't rest until it is secure.
As you wish. Wherever could that blasted Greetings, my friend. Fancy meeting you all the way out here. Perhaps you could help me once more. I need an... Greetings, my friend. And put simply, I found records of an ancient temple, somewhere in this very forest. And I've come to study what secrets it may... Travelers be... Thank you for accepting my offer. Oh no, of course... Well, being... The ruins within Ebony... It's old, even for a high... As I said before, this forest is tricky to... Not much. The nature of this forest doesn't allow travel. It's old, even for a high elf... As I said before, this forest is tricky to navigate. Oh no, of course not. Well, being Tallager's assistant is informative. We're looking for inscriptions. Alert me once you see any gibberish carved into stone. Yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. Why, it's almost as if I can hear the words. Sel Ra Ang Yond. Eastern Temple. Daedra? I don't have time for distractions. Could you hold them off while I finish translating? We're looking for inscriptions. Alert me once you see any gibberish carved into stone. Yes, this is exactly what we're looking for. Why, it's almost as if I can hear the words. Sel Ra Ang Yond. Eastern Temple? Daedra? I don't have time for distractions. Could you hold them off while I finish translating? The inscription indicates that the temple is further up. Quick, follow me.
How did we get separated? I was just behind you.
least we're back together. Come on. This forest has to end somewhere.
How did we get separated? I was just behind you. This way! I'm over here!
Well, seems the rumors are true. Ebon Stadmont truly does twist around you. Perhaps another inscription will help guide us. Aha! Now let's see. That voice again. Para Ekne. Past pathway? Daedra again? We don't have time for this. Well, seems the rumors are true. Ebon Stadmont truly does twist around you. Perhaps another inscription will help guide us. Aha! Now let's see. That voice again. Para Ekne. Past pathway? Daedra again? We don't have time for this. Well, seems the rumors are true. Ebon Stadmont truly does twist around you. Perhaps another inscription will help guide us. These transcriptions are the only way we're getting through this twisted forest. Defend me while I translate them. I've got it! Follow me. The temple should be just ahead.
last revealed.
There you are. Quickly, up the stairs. Take care of that thing before it takes care of us. I need help down here. Don't believe the rumors. Prince Naaman died protecting the Queen in the orrery. Thank the stars. I think he's coming too.
Am I really an Aetherius? I didn't know they let your kind in here. We of the House of Reveries have no names, only masks. But you can call me Fletch, because I specialize in the art of the bow, see? Eben Stadmont... I'm sorry, but I just don't remember. I must have come here with my traveling troupe, though. I wouldn't have left Relenthiel without them. Daedra? Mara's elbow, that doesn't sound good. Could you help me find my troop leader? Forte! Is that you?
Fletch, what's happened? The whole troop is looking for you.
Grand Maestro Forte? Why, I had no idea you were in Eben Stadmont.
Grand? Oh no, I'm simply Maestro Forte. Hardly worthy of the title Grand yet. It appears you've saved Fletch from the brink of death. It brings to mind the story of Temerian, who of course was saved by the Nereids of... but now is not the time for such tales. Daedra? I had no idea. Our watch did report some strange creatures prowling. The only thing of note I discovered within the temple is a glowing stone. Excellent. Why don't you and your companion head to the stone?
I know this is strange, but let's get to this stone. Perhaps it can answer some questions. The House of Reveries? In Eben Stadmont? Why wouldn't I have heard about that?
Lenka, fall away. Future's door.
Did you hear it too? That woman's voice? At first I thought I was imagining it. Future's Door. A House of Reveries expedition I've never heard of. Grand Maestro Forte rebuffing his proper title. And the temple room where we found Fletch? It means we ventured somewhere we never should have gone. The past. I know it seems far-fetched, but remember that stone we first activated? I thought the inscription referenced an event. That's my theory, and I'd rather not explore further to find out. Affecting the past has far-reaching consequences. It makes me wonder what trouble we've already caused. I can't be sure, in all honesty, but we have to try. Otherwise, we'll be... This stone should lead us back to our natural time. All you need to do is keep that destination clearly in your mind. I'll follow right... It is quite intriguing. Grand Maestro Forte is the head of Somerset's greatest acting troupe, the House of Reveries. But I've also heard tale that he's a great academic as well. The research I've been using to help translate the language here came from an expedition that occurred around this time. Perhaps Maestro Forte wrote the very notes that led me here. I'll ask him. Well, Fletch was very close to death, and I recall seeing bones in our present time, right where I found him injured. Most likely he was supposed to die. I'm almost glad I was so ignorant when I healed him. I don't know what I would have done. As I said earlier, changing the past has far-reaching consequences. For all I know, healing Fletch could have dire consequences to our present. I would have had to... I've been hearing this voice since I first started. Oh, it is rather odd for a mysterious language to speak to anyone who reads it. I'm not sure what to tell you. I do know that we have to return to our time, and quickly. This mysterious voice, whatever its it is quite intriguing. Grand Maestro, the research I've been using to help translate the language here...
Who's there? Lysaxis. It's you. Years and years, and I never could find you. And here you are. Back where it all began. Looking as if you haven't aged a day, my friend. So the stone did send you to the future after all. I had feared the worst. That day I tried to follow after you and return to our original time. But the stone's magic faded. I was trapped within Ebbenstadmont. For decades, I'd been studying this language and desperately searching for a way out. But my path would always lead me back here. I must stop myself from ever going back in time. I've been wasting my life within this cursed forest. The southern... Fletch! Ah!
I'm sorry, dear, but your role has been...
The temple. You must go back. Go through the temple. The southern stone. Bane away Tendel. Those...
Time for the grand finale of our little production. And thus the play continues. I'll see you soon.
Such an effort to escape me. I suppose I have what I need.
Well, I suppose it's curtain call. You finally figured it out. Well, and Derwin figured it out, didn't she? But hey, you put all the legwork in. And here you are. Ah, but did you kill me? Truly? Not even an accomplished healer could bring me back? And yes, I did take part in Derwin's. And Derwin was the leading lady of our production. It was up to her to uncover the mysteries of Ebon Stadmont, to find the true potential of its hidden power. Sadly, yes. And so my part must end as well. I put on quite the performance, though, don't you think? The poor, confused soul, the dastardly villain. Yes, our heroine should be just outside, if I remember correctly. After so many times around, though, I told you the very first time we met. I'm Fletch. I used to be a mere actor, but now I serve a greater force. What did Derwin call her? Ah, this... Don't bother. Oh, I wouldn't worry too much. The language here, of course. Yes. What did Don't bother asking me. Oh, I wouldn't worry too... The language here, of course.
There you are! We finally made it to the temple. Oh, I just can't wait to see what secrets are inside. The temple is a trap? What do you mean? A book? Why, this is my handwriting. I've been trapped within this forest for decades now. Trapped within the past. My face is filled with wrinkles, my heart darkened with regrets. Something trying to... My goodness. This is all so hard to wrap my head around. Yes, I agree. You've gone above and beyond protecting me during this expedition. Though the details seem a bit complicated, to think I would have been trapped here, I'd say our contract... I suppose... I'm sure these notes will give me more detail. You know, it may be silly. Tellinger is the one who makes brash... Well, it is a lovely view, once you put aside all the strangeness.
Turn back to where you came, stranger, unless you want to vanish like the rest. Many of my friends have gone missing near these ruins. Ruliel still holds out hope that they will return, but he and a few of the others have staked out a camp up on the ridge. He is foolish to stay.
Quiet! Someone approaches. Is it Kanar? I can't say.
Sorry, stranger. My friend can't see too well anymore. She mistook you for someone we've been looking for. Things have more than a... They've stood... You're a kind... He was friendly enough with his question. He happened along after... It's quiet. The details... Nowhere else to go. He was friendly enough with his question. He happened along after our people started... Not much. The land just opened.
For a place with such a terrible... I didn't this place... So that... I don't mind having some... My... lineage... I asked them to leave. They're out. My kin feel I'm... Lineage is everything. This breach looks promising. Take a look. Can't say I care for the naturalized aesthetic. Keep your eyes out for anything that may... Something about that statue catch your interest? Even in such the whole... That's a sound. Damn. These papers are practically mulch. Maybe something survived. I wonder... A group? No. Am I finding more? The thousands of... Some answers. The thousands of years? Doubtful. Down here! I found something! Is that a person? Hey, you there! Wait! This camp looks recent. I'll bet your missing persons just discovered that these... I have a bad feeling about the fate of these people. I don't... agree. Voices!
They are Rilas, Abamel Shota.
I heard it again. Look, people gone.
Please approach. We know you are here. There we are. Much better, yes. Manners are easily forgotten when you're so far removed from society. Forgive the others, they are... Call me Arelas. I am caretaker of this place. We all are. We led our lives in quiet, contented seclusion. How long? How long indeed? I think there was a time when... To the saviors. It is because of their sacrifice that Korgrad lives on. We repay the lives they gave us by caring for the town in their stead. I see, I see. Our humble town would be treacherous to those who have not grown accustomed to its many twists. You possess the Savior's compassion and determination.
Go on without me. I'm going to speak with Arelas about my ancestors. I'd like to spend some time with Arelas. You heard, Arelas. It's dangerous deeper down. And let's be honest, I'm no war.
This is the day they took the sick. They preserved us from the... We follow the Savior's guidance. It was their wisdom. They took the sickness from us. We follow the Savior through a net.
These saviors you mentioned, did they happen to be members of the family?
Oh, yes.
In a manner of speaking, I'm eager to learn more about this branch of my
taking me? You don't have to do this! Please! Don't put me in there! Please! No!
Save us from these monsters! Get us out!
10,000 venerations to you.
Bless you. I can walk, but you lead the way. We aren't free.
Welcome to Korgrad, visitor, such as it is. Come, speak. I have not had civil company in some time. You arrive upon a momentous reunion of our filial blood, bestowing on him the Korgrad legacy. His vitality. On the contrary, the embalming process. We are Ultima. Thras. It was ever present, ever penetrating. We spare them the ravages, to be free of the disease, because his kin. Most would not. My vain attempt to spare them and others from the gruesome death.
For what reason do you barge into our home? As if you have the right to trespass our lands as you please? You may believe our condition diminishes our station. The other trespassers, they intrude as you do without our sanction. Aurelius ends their vagrancy and sees the return of our pure-blooded kin means our long dormancy is near. The sickness has robbed us of fruitful lands. It is not your right to question us. We are the law. The return of our pure-blooded kin means our...
Soon, this misery will finally be at an end. I thought this day too long. There is little to occupy the time. The monotony. If not for Father's elixirs to quiet the mind, I have spent, I don't know how long, in absolute stagnation. I would welcome a war.
How healthy you look. I barely remember the feeling of anything, really. Aside from the slight ebb, it was the only way. The choice was this long internment, or a brief, horrid end. Our hope was to linger. No, it was never meant to be this long.
Gods, that was... I could feel my skin tightening as the stone drew the moisture out of me like a wineskin. Right. I suppose I can keep up. I'll just lick the damp off the walls.
Saviors, I failed you. You've stolen our future. But I swear I'll rob them of theirs in kind.
Don't let him kill us!
I can hardly believe it. You found Henry. I can... Gods.
If it weren't for... Even now... I'll stay with these people. I don't know. My eyes still feel like that. My name may be all the means I can lend them. I doubt my parents will offer any support.